Embedded World 2017, an incredibly busy place hosted by Arrow. I have rarely seen so many people on such a small area. It's really very busy, and not just in terms of people, but also in terms of the number of products shown on this booth by Arrow. I'm here to talk with Amir Sherman on one specific range of boards called 96Boards. Amir, there are 3 new additions to the 96Boards series, and you have been discussing them in our magazine, Electro Business, and you've been sort of introducing them. But I'd like to know a few more details, because people will be very curious about where do they come from in the first place. There was a predecessor to the 96Boards.
So we started 2 years ago with our famous Dragon board.
Yes, the Dragon board.
This was really, really famous. And this was a collaboration between Aero Electronics, Qualcomm, and Linaro, the biggest Linux community in the world. This was huge success stories, and it's open Aero to the community market.
Yep. How many did you push around, Amir?
So the last number that we know about global is close to 100,000 of boards, and it still keeps counting because it's open Qualcomm to the embedded market. Because of these success stories and the combination with Linaro, we have decided to connect with other suppliers and to develop more community boards to the market. We are announcing now in the embedded world 3 new boards based on the 96Boards form factor. One is the Oxalis, based on...
They have beautiful names. Yeah. Oxalis?
We develop it in Germany. I'm still finding what is the essence of the name, but it was unique because it catch you. So the Oxalis based on the NXP Layerscape 1012A technology.
Next one.
The second one is the Chameleon 96, so based on Intel technology for FPGAs. And the third one is the Meerkat. And you know that there is an animal in US that if you put Meerkat in Google, you see something like that.
Yeah, correct.
Exactly the Meerkat. So these are the 3 96Boards that we have announced. And all 3 of them are specifically focused for different type of application in the IoT market, but different type of customers and applications.
Tell us a bit more, Amir, about the position of the 96Boards in general in the market.
Yes, so there is very famous community boards platform in the worldwide, so the Raspberry Pi, and this is our partners, and we are working and selling Raspberry Pi. But we want to open to the ARM community to a larger scale of possibilities. And because of that, we connected, like we said, with NXP, with Intel, with Qualcomm, and with the help of the 96Board organization that is behind the Linaro, that are doing the maintenance of the Linux in the kernel, in the mainstream. They're backing up on the support for the Linux structure. This is something that helps us to go to the broader market with different type of applications.
Still, you've decided to launch 3 new boards. So every one of these must have a specific aspect to it. Let's take, for example, the Chameleon 96. What is special about it?
So the uniqueness in the Chameleon is that we are working with an ARM-based processors. Now, Chameleon is an FPGA, so you have one side the FPGA in the system on chip, and also a dual-core ARM-based inside. So then you can drive different type of application, running the Linux operation system in one side and have FPGA in the other side, and it's still under community platform, and this is really, really unique.
You are very much open source.
Everything is open source, everything is free of charge. You can go to the 96Board organization, download the data sheets, the manual, the codes. You have Linux updated all the time, and this is something that is really, really unique. Customers can copy-paste it and then go to their own application.
And now the Oxalis, for instance, what is specific? What are you enthusiastic about the Oxalis?
Yes, Oxalis is really, really unique because we use a different form factor on the 96Board. So you have in the normal 96Board,
yeah, I noticed that.
Like this, like a credit card side. The Oxalis form factor is that you have a carrier board and a system on a module that's plugged to it. And then the customers can use this reference, develop any type of carrier board they want, and plug the system on module on top of it. And this is a unique type of platform that we are now doing based on 96Boards.
Because I noticed there's also 96Boards extension boards, high speed, if I remember correctly, and low speed, and there are different connectors on the boards to connect the high and low speed.
Yes, so first of all, there are three types of 96 boards form factors. You have the embedded version, you have embedded version, IoT version, and the enterprise version. Yes,
Enterprise version. Thank you very much, Jens.
Enterprise, embedded, and IoT. Now, in the specific form factors, you have specific connectors, normally a low-speed connector to drive low speed, and high speed, because we are talking about, it looks small, but these guys are 1 gigahertz, dual-core, quad-core machines driving all of the latest connectivity that you need, and this is why you need this type of peripherals on it. Okay.
Fair enough, so that's as far as hardware goes, very interesting. But now, people just don't want to buy hardware alone these days, they require software support as well. What's in stock in terms of software, Amir, absolutely for the whole 96 boards family, roughly?
So I just mentioned that 96 board backend is the Linaro organization. Linaro organization is the biggest community for Linux structure support in the worldwide. So we have Linaro in the backend, and the combination between Aero software team, Linaro big backend, and the engineer community, the real makers, the real engineers from the industrial version, all these three make us in the best position to drive the software and update everything online. Now you have the mainstream that you can download from the internet, everything booting, most of them are booting both Linux, Android, the Snapdragon booting also Windows 10 IoT, and Linaro is supporting us on the backend, but again, it's a community. Everything online, everything free, you can ask and get all the questions that you want online.
Can users of the 96 boards also roll out their products as commercial products if they are supposed like startups? Can they, in other words, can they close their project and say, okay, it's closed, finished, now let's roll it out to the market? How does that work?
Okay, so this is a great question. So the concept of the 96 board is that you are taking it, you are playing, you have all the source code, and you can have the ready pre-production. So you can use it for commercial use. Now what we as Aero are doing, all of these boards have an industrial, real rugged version out of it. So there is another platforms that are really copy-paste, same, but are used for mass production. And then the customer can play and then go to the production version of it. And this is what you need.
So finally, Amir, this is all about IoT, the whole show really, and IoT, I square OT, industrial, Internet of Things. Tell me, how do these boards figure in the IoT scene? Your opinion?
Yeah, so embedded and IoT is together. And we are targeting each board to a different type of application for the IoT arenas. Oxalis, for example, is really suitable for gateways applications, for Industry 4.0, because you have the quad-core, the one-core A53 layerscape, but it's networking with 1 gigabits and all of the communication layers. The Chameleon, because it's FPGA, you can put a special IP for IoT that will connect it to the processors.
Great.
And then you can have your specific IoT request with the peripherals, where the Meerkat have a built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth on it, and this is really general purpose IoT application for an end node. So we are having all of this community that you can
cover both the end nodes and the gateways. One of these is for the user to choose, and he has complete support, from the community. And brilliant, it's all open source, so everybody can help one another and discuss that, etc., etc. Yeah. Amir, thank you very much for presenting these new releases, new boards in the 96 boards series.
Thank you very much.
Jan Buiting for Embedded World 2017. We are very grateful to Aero. Thank you, Amir.
Thank you very much.